Hey gang, it's Platt. We're continuing on our look through Italian wine and wine culture. Today we're going to go to the Piedmont. The Piedmont is a wine region in northwest Italy. It borders France and Switzerland. Back a couple of thousand years ago, the Greeks referred to this region as Ointru or Ointru, pardon my Greek, which meant the land of vines. And that was in reference to the local wild grape varieties that were growing there. As far as the Piedmont wine region goes, it's highly influenced by its neighbor France, especially the Burgundy region, because many of the wine styles you'll see from the Piedmont are more of a varietal style, less of a blend, even though there is some blending there. One of the first references to Piedmont wines came in the 14th century when it was written that they produced more of a sweet Greek-style wine, and that was part of a technique they were using with twisting the vines, and that somehow held in a little more of the residual sugar or compared to other styles at the time. The Piedmont played a big part in Italian history. In the mid-1800s, neighboring Austria, who was actually at the time in charge or had conquered the Piedmont region, slapped a tariff on Piedmont wines. And they got pushback from the wine producers that led to a full-fledged revolt, which eventually led to a full-out war in 1848 with the rest of the Italian regions. And they ended up defeating the Austrians, and for the first time since pretty much the Roman Empire, the whole of Italy came together and became one country, or what we know as Italy today. And it all started off with some really angry Piedmont wine merchants. The term Piedmont, or Piemonte, is actually, it means foot of the hills or foot of the mountains, which makes sense because of its location with the Alps. It's a very mountainous region. There is also the Po Valley that runs through it. So between the valley bottoms and the mountains, only roughly about 30% of this region is capable of growing wine. So as far as wine production, it's not one of the largest producers of wine, but again, produces some real high quality wines. Climate-wise, it's a little colder, more continental climate than compared to, let's say, Tuscany. Also, because the Alps, it gets a little less rain. The Alps works as kind of a rain shadow, or rain guard. Within the Piedmont, there's 42 DOCs, 17 DOCGs, but no IGT category here in the Piedmont. 84% of the wine produced in the Piedmont actually qualifies for DOC designation, which makes it the highest by percentage of wine it produces of any other region in Italy. So again, a vast majority of its wine is DOC quality. There's four main grapes in this region: Nebbiolo, Barbera, Dolcetto, and Moscato Bianco. Nebbiolo is primarily used in the production of the two classic wines from this region, Barolo and Barbaresco. These are highly tannic wines that tend to need a lot of aging, strict aging regulations on these wines, but these are some of the classic wines of Italy. Next we have Barbera. Barbera is actually the most planted grape in this region, and it produces a less tannic, more approachable wine that actually would be a good blending grape, but there is varietal examples of this wine. Third, we have Dolcetto. It produces a dry tannic wine that's actually good to be drank young, which is important to the vineyards there, because if they're going to create Barolo and Barbaresco that takes a lot of time to age, they also need a product that kind of gets a quick turnaround, and Dolcetto provides it to them, kind of helps the cash flow, I guess, of the vineyard. And the last grape we're going to talk about is Moscato Bianco. It's used to produce sparkling wines, actually two different sparkling wines. There's Asti Spumante, which an older generation might remember more, and then Moscato d'Asti, which is kind of popular now with the younger generation. Moscato d'Asti is a sweeter, less carbonated sparkling wine than Asti Spumante. That's why it's probably more popular with the younger wine drinkers out there. The particular Piedmont wine we're going to try today is the Cren del Riccio. I hope I said that right. You can see from the sticker, this is a DOC wine. It's a 2016 from Langhe. That's the DOC it's from, which is the reference to the Langhe Hill region. This one actually is more of a blend. We have 60% Nebbiolo, 30% Dolcetto, and 10% Merlot in this wine. So let's give her a try. Alright. A little darker ruby, but I wouldn't call this a dark wine. Let's give her a nose. Alright, it's got a little pleasant fruit to it, but there's a little something more behind it. That is nice. Compared to the table Tuscan wine I tried on an earlier video, this has a little more something to it. There's nice fruit, but it's darker fruit, has a little more depth. Yeah, kind of flavor-wise hits more parts of my mouth. Not much acid on the side, but a little longer finish. I get a little more tannin on this. This is a nice wine. Body-wise, it's not too much, but there is some body there. There's a little viscosity. This is something that that could stand up to some food, not hearty dishes. I would kind of put this with some dishes that Pinot Noir or maybe a fruity Malbec, something like that would work with. But nice little wine, really do like it. Well, I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please subscribe down below. Any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.